Hey, what's up? And today we're going to talk about this stupid thing and how to make it work for you to make your playing a little more effortless. Now remember, before we get going in this, these are things I've picked up throughout the years as easier ways to make this thing work for you, not the other way around. You don't want to have to struggle to play your drums. And these are tips I've picked up from tons of different drummers and a little bit of my own tweaking of their methods, and it works for me, so you might have to tweak some of this stuff for yourself. But remember, this is my way I do things, and I'm just trying to help the drumming community. If you have your own ways, that's great. As long as we're all trying to help the drumming community and build this community up, that's great. Let's stop this hate towards one another. It's getting old. The first thing we're going to talk about is something we really don't talk about much when it comes to adjusting our pedals, and that is our seat height. You have to make sure you're comfortable when you're sitting down. If you're not at a good height, or you're trying to copy another drummer that you've seen because they sit high or they sit low or they sit in the middle, you're already doing it wrong. You have to set your seat for you. What is actually comfortable where you could sit there all day and have no fatigue. The best angle and effortless angle where it's not going to tire you out that I have found is with your legs pretty much straight down or a little out, and the top of your leg matching. If your knee comes over your leg like that when you're playing, you are having to lift your whole leg and you're burning up too much energy just to press your pedals down. So I recommend keeping that down to where when you lift your knee, it doesn't go any farther than a perfect 90-degree angle to come down to, because then you're not having to lift your whole leg. Next thing is your footboard angle. What's it at? The best way I was taught to do this, and I've used it ever since I've learned it, is when you're walking and you're kind of over-exaggerating your step. When you lift your foot and it's at its max peak before you bring your foot down, that's the angle you set your board to. That's what I've always done. You know, you got to do it a little bit of tweaking of that, but it's close to that angle. The third thing we need to talk about with setting up this pedal is your beater height. That's going to play a big role. I like to keep mine hitting just a hair, about a ½ inch over dead center. That's going to give you good attack and power into your bass drum. Next thing we're going to talk about is the beater throw. So I'm going to take that off so we can see here. If you notice where this beater sits, if you imagine your 90-degree angle here, this beater sits right there in that perfect diagonal in the square. That is where they usually come stock, because it is just the best spot to get good throw and attack into your bass drum. You can play with it, fine-tune it for you. Now we're on to spring tension. I've heard people say, oh, to get fast double bass, you have to have it cranked. Or I've heard people say, to get fast double bass, you have to have it loose. Or to get fast double bass, you have to have it in the middle. Or to get fast singles on one foot, you got to have it a certain way. No, it's your foot and how heavy you press down on that pedal. That's where you're going to set it. So if you are really heavy-footed and you really stomp on your pedal, crank that spring down, because it's going to be too light anywhere else. You got to have that throw if you're heavy-footed. If you're light-footed, use light tension to medium tension, and so forth. And that's how you're going to adjust that for you, not how your favorite drummer has it. Adjust it for you. Now, another thing people don't talk about that I don't think I've ever heard anyone teach when trying to adjust this thing for your playing is not on the actual pedal. It's your head tension. Do you like a loose bass drum? Do you like a tight bass drum? If you have a tight bass drum head, this thing is going to rebound off really fast. So you're not going to want a heavy tension, because that's going to pull it back and you're going to lose control of that footboard. So if you have a loose head and this beater is going to bury into it because you like just a nice thud and punch, heavy tension is going to be okay for you. But the key to all of these settings is you adjust it for you to play effortlessly, where you don't feel like you're really pushing anything down. You don't feel like there's any weight behind you. And that's how you're going to want to set this up. If your pedal doesn't have like a cam adjustment where you can bring the beater back or forward, and it is what it is, that's fine. Get it set to as close as you can to middle, and just do what you can with these settings that I've given you on your pedal. These settings have worked for me on, for instance, the very first pedal I ever bought, which was a cheap piece of crap, to this pedal right here, one of the best pedals I've ever owned. So I hope these tips and tricks have helped you. If they have, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. If not, hey, thank you for checking it out. Maybe pass it on to someone who maybe might like it. If you don't like it, You don't have to let me know. Just move along to the next video, and we'll see you on the next one, all right? Take it easy. We'll see you later.